Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. As of Thursday, the 25th of February 2021, the liquor license suspension is to be lifted. However, people are not permitted to consume liquor on licensed premises. This means that bars and restaurants will only provide grab-and-go services. The purpose of the protocol is to continue restrictions on social gatherings and assist the Ministry of Health in contact tracing efforts as St. Lucia continues to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. The public is informed that strict measures of enforcement are in place and all non-essential businesses, including bars and restaurants, must be completely closed by the curfew time of 7 p.m. daily. A local bar owner is reacting to the new stipulations.
Be happy to hear, they're gonna lift the ban on the alcohol, so things should be okay. Not the best, but it will be okay for a while. It's just been a rough road, up, down, it's smooth, get rough again. So, the opening and closing, it just wasn't working. Yeah, man, it's just tough.
Minibus operators have been clamoring to be recognized among the group of frontline workers to be given first priority for the COVID-19 vaccine. Minister for Transport Guy Joseph says drivers are well within their rights to ask for such.
As the government of St. Lucia continues to encourage members of the public, particularly frontline workers and individuals who fall into the vulnerable category, to pre-register for the COVID-19 vaccines, minibus drivers have come out to say that they feel completely neglected in the plans to have the country vaccinated. Drivers recently explained that they would like to be seen as essential as they have been at the forefront transporting people to and from work throughout the pandemic. Minister for Transportation Guy Joseph on Tuesday says he agrees with the points that have been raised by the drivers.
We've had some discussions on this as to, I think that is a determination that the drivers, the association needs to look at, because to be put on the list of essential services is something I believe that the bus drivers are very exposed and that priority should be given to that sector.
Joseph is of the view that drivers are frontline workers as they are exposed to hundreds of people on a daily basis. He says negotiations with the public transportation sector continue to gauge what assistance can be provided.
Things are ongoing, so I'm not in a position to come and tell you this is where it's at. I believe that some of these things will be disclosed by the National Council on Public Transport in due course once we have completed our process.
The minister says he is scheduled to meet with the executive of the National Council on Public Transportation to continue discussions on the concerns raised by the various bus associations with regards to COVID-19 vaccination. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Janine Gonzalez.
The deputy leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, is expressing concern about the use of monies being borrowed by the government of St. Lucia. He says it is outrageous that more has not been done to provide social and economic relief to many St. Lucians who are suffering due to COVID-19.
One of the motions set for Tuesday's parliamentary sitting was a resolution to allow the government of St. Lucia to borrow US $30 million to finance the COVID-19 response, recovery and resilience development policy program. The opposition St. Lucia Labour Party continues to be very critical of the current administration's borrowing and use of monies. On Tuesday, outside the House of Parliament, Deputy Leader of the party, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, says he is hopeful that income support for the people is one of the reasons the government is seeking to borrow more monies.
I am hoping that the government does allocate a substantial part for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because the elections is coming. They spent a lot of the money they've borrowed on other things. So finally, you must give the people something. I mean, it would be outrageous if a government does not do that.
Dr. Hilaire, however, says the precedent that the government has set when it comes to supporting individuals who are having a difficult time as a result of COVID-19 precedes it, and so his hopes are not high.
You never know if this government, they have made it very clear that they do not believe in giving what they see as handouts to people. And it always blows my mind away when they say that in the House, that if you help people who are in need, vulnerable, they are making mendicants of them. But when you give businesses all the concessions and incentives, what are you making out of them? So my thing is, I expect the government to give the people more this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because the people are crying, the people are suffering.
Dr. Hiller is adamant that the government has the capacity to do more to ensure that members of the public who have been severely impacted and displaced by the COVID-19 pandemic get relief. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
In other news, Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph asked this question to members of the media on Tuesday morning.
Y'all still trust ministers giving comments on these things and when they open and when they close?
The question came in response to another question asked by the press in relation to an update on the St. Jude Hospital. An exasperated Joseph said he was tired of giving the same updates. He gave this suggestion to the media.
I'd like the media to take a tour down to St. Jude. To come and say the same things all the time. So why don't we organize something when the media can go down there firsthand and see for themselves what is happening? Then you can be in a position, you can question the experts who are working, the consultant, the contractor, everybody.
Joseph was then asked, if the public cannot trust ministers in charge, then who can be trusted to give reliable information? Joseph then said COVID-19 has led to projects turning into moving targets where there is no certainty with completion dates. He made this analogy.
You send your car to a garage and the bodyman tells you you'll get your car in 2 weeks, and 2 months later you still can't get your car. You send your television to fix your fridge, anything.
I'll get a new bodyman.
The minister said he would gladly facilitate a media walkabout of the facility. Nationals and tourists alike are being urged to continue practicing the set protocols to ensure that COVID-19 infection numbers continue to drop. However, both locals and tourists have continued to flout the laws in numerous ways, including refusal to wear masks in public. Concerns were raised further when yet another video of tourists not wearing masks surfaced over the weekend. Tourism Minister Dominic Fede was presented with this issue on Tuesday, and in response he said he is confident in the ability of the police to deal with this matter.
Well, certainly I've seen that the police have taken the swiftest action possible. You would have seen that there are reports of us locking up tourists when needs be. We have our laws, and no one is above the law, whether you're a tourist or not.
Last year, about 200 peace officers or COVID wardens were employed to help the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to enforce COVID-19 prevention and control measures. From Friday to Monday, there were hundreds of confirmed cases of COVID-19. The Ministry of Health on Friday, the 19th of February, received confirmation of 240 cases of COVID-19. On Saturday, the 20th of February, the Ministry received confirmation of 218 cases of COVID-19. By Sunday, the 21st of February, there were 57 new cases of COVID-19. On Monday, the 22nd of February, Independence Holiday, there was confirmation of 7 cases of COVID-19. On Monday, the Health Ministry also received confirmation of 70 recoveries. This brings the total number of active cases to 365. 2 of the active cases presently require critical care at the respiratory hospital. This is the Hot 7 TV nightly news. Still to come, the UK to lift its lockdown, and an esteemed media colleague mourns the passing of media owner Dennis Dabrio.